Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream, and apologies for already starting the live chat going on a conversation about being sick. That's definitely on me, I'm sorry. But welcome to everyone who's already here, who's already chatting. I actually just love watching all of your comments on the live stream before we even jump in. Yes, I'm just back from the US. Yes, I was sick while I was over there. I pushed through what ended up being full-blown flu. Luckily, in between my big commitments, which was great, but it does mean that the jet lag had a weird delay to it. So there was adrenaline kicked in, and then the flu was like, oh wait, I'm still here. And then
jet lag had jet lag.
The jet lag had jet lag too. So I'm gonna yawn more than I should in this live stream, but we'll be fine. But it's good to be back. We did miss the last live stream because I was in the US. I was like, oh, I could do it while I'm over there, and then forgot that I'd actually be on a plane from LA to Dallas during our live stream time. So maybe wouldn't have been quite so practical. But hello to all of our wonderful members who are here today. Nessa and Caitlin, always some of the first people in, which is awesome. Sarah Chalk, I feel like you're an honorary member at this point because I love how you always join us for the live streams.
And she's also picked up on your new shirt.
Yes. This is my new shirt. Today's the first day I'm wearing this. This was a gift from the amazing Evan and Caitlin. And I do have some more shirts hopefully coming soon. But this is one they sent me because I was telling them how I admire all of their shirts and how, I don't know, I want to maybe look at us doing some merch someday, but haven't really got to that yet because we've always had a million other things happening. But I do like wearing merch from other creative people. And this is so on brand for us, right? Make, fail, make, fail, make. So this is not a promotion, but you know, it's worth looking at their shop, just saying. No. I do love their stuff. They have a lot of fun stuff. The other one that I was looking at is called Fail Academy or Fail University. I like that one as well because here we are all about taking chances, taking risks, making mistakes, living in the mess. I'm not messy. I'm making art. It's all part of the process and we love it. Izzy, good to see you here. Always really cool to see. And Cara Marinas, I love that. Actually, yeah, we've got Carol as well and Terry. We've had so many new members join in the last month or so, and I love it. And I have loved in our Discord all of the extra voices that are now a part of it and the discussions. And I'm finding it a lot harder to keep up because I tend to actually read every comment in our Discord, which means that I'm waking up now and looking at my messages and it's it's a little bit harder to keep up because it's such a wonderful group. Melville is here as well. Good to see you. I also want to say hello to Liz Gridley, who's here. Liz is one of my Melbourne friends. She helped me a lot in the resin video. You might have seen her if you have seen some of the behind the scenes videos there. She's an amazing oil painter. She does these beautiful portraits, very inspiring. One day I would like to have her teach me oil painting in the future, but she's here as well. I'm sorry to hear that your daughter is home for a sick day though, Liz, but at least you get to join us. So that's always fun. So yes, we've got lots of people here, which is awesome. A few new faces as well. So Drawing with Dumpling, good to see you. Love for Vlogs channel, hello. Not Everybody's Darling, hello from Germany. Interesting. Lots of faces. So welcome to the live stream. Today, I was actually thinking, there's a lot happening this week. So first of all, if you don't know, this is launch week for us. Probably the biggest launch that we have ever done, and that is the Color Cube 2nd edition. It is coming this weekend. We've got a video coming out with all the details, but there is also a pre-release option available for anyone who's a member or a Facebook member or is on our email list. Some of them have been ordering them already, and we might even get a few of them out a little bit early if we can. So
Sarah has just said in the chat, she's asked if I'm breaking things in the background because there's a big crash. Just to clarify, that wasn't me. That was Will downstairs, potentially breaking our coffee machine.
Don't break the coffee machine, please.
So under the bus Will goes.
Our coffee machine did break recently, and it was a very sad few days, and we got to know...
It wasn't sad for the cafe up the road.
We got to know our friends at the cafe very, very well for a few days because we were there multiple times a day catching up on our coffee because we didn't have our own machine. So it's back, which is great. Oh, Jody, broke your foot last week. I'm glad that you get to join the live. Not so glad as what it took to get here. Please, no one else, do not recommend breaking bones in order to attend the live. That's a level of commitment that I don't expect from you.
Well...
No, Shane, no. So we have a lot of awesome people here. And what I was thinking today, so again, launch week this week, there's a lot to happen there. I just realized this side camera is like just a full shot of the back of my MacBook, but sorry about that. That's, just is what it is. We also, what else do we have this week? This week, coffee. Oh, thank you, Will. Oh, this is my hot chocolate mug. It's very big.
Will's back from breaking stuff downstairs.
They heard you from here. It's all right. Will's bringing me coffee, so thank you, Will. Will is our amazing video editor who, when you see the video later this week of everything that we're putting together for the Color Cube, you can give the amazing credit to Will for the creativity involved in that. Have you ever, said hello on a stream? Do you want to say a quick hello?
Hello. Enjoy the video.
Hi and bye, Will. So, look at me. I'm not focusing very well because I'm distracted by all your wonderful comments. Kat has joined us as well. Cat Art Illustrations. You may have seen her on this channel. In fact, we did a live stream together here. Her art is amazing. Her marker art is amazing. And she's also from Melbourne. So I was thinking today...
So many comments on here. I can't even keep up.
I'm not... It's really distracting me. I need to just not look at you all for a moment. But I was thinking we should do some more dopamine colouring. So if you don't know what that is, and if you haven't watched the last live stream, this is option one. I actually have a second option that you can choose, even though I planned all this, but there's an idea that came up at the last minute. So these are what we did 4 weeks ago, I think, in a live stream. I'm calling it dopamine colouring. It was something we talked about in that live stream where I worked on this picture, trying some different methods that I've not tried before. It's a bit inspired by chaos colouring mixed with dopamine decor, mixed with everything I love about mixed media and just having a go and getting a mess down and then making up with the mess later. And it brings it all together.
That feather looks awesome.
And that feather was... Okay, so Shane just jumping the gun here a bit. At the end of the live stream, doing this, Shane said, I reckon even I could do that. And for context...
I don't think that's true. I think during the live stream, you just roped me into it.
There's evidence, video evidence in the past of Shane saying he thinks he could do it, and so we roped him in. So then in our members only live stream that we did as the so every time we do a live stream now, we do an extended members live stream after, and we'll do that again today. Shane did one, and this is Shane's. So Shane is not an artist. He's creative, but not in arty ways. Creative, but not artistic. Is that fair to say, Shane? Now he's quiet.
Yes.
So we did a live stream together, and this is what Shane made completely by himself. And I think it looks amazing, and it's very, very arty. And I'm really proud of Shane for having done this, and I really want to frame it. But I want to show that anyone can do this. And so I have kind of put together a little bit of a kit that I'm like, I was thinking about doing a dopamine colouring party, right? When I was in America. We didn't end up doing it, but I do sort of have all the pieces from that. So I was thinking we could do that today. We could do a little bit more dopamine colouring with some of these little pictures that I have printed that I was planning on using in a colouring party. So I've got some of those here. Otherwise, I saw a comment in here a moment ago. Who was it? Who was it that said it? Who put your hand up. Who was it that mentioned the dot to dot? Someone here said, where's it gone? Where's it gone? Royal Oak Custom Woodworking. You should complete a God dot to dot and colour it to your highest standards. Give dot to dot some love. So, on that, I have a dot to dot book that I pulled out right now after your comment because I have not touched it. It is 1,000 dot to dots. So if there was something that you would call a God dot to dot, a God level, this is probably the one. And so it's like we could actually ditch the dopamine colouring today and have a go at dot to dot. But this is ambitious. Let me show you. We might need a top camera here. This is a lot. I don't even know if you can read those numbers. They are tiny. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to readjust our cameras to even make this possible. But if you think this would be a fun challenge today instead of dopamine colouring, I am here for the challenge. So maybe Shane can start a poll. Are we doing dopamine colouring or are we doing epic dot to dot? Because this is 1,000. Is it 1,000? Well, it said the book's called 1,000 dot to dot, but I wonder if it actually goes. I can see number 800. Yes, there's 900. Where's number 1,000? There's 1,000. I found it. Number 1,000. It is tiny. I should probably get some kind of magnifying glass if we're going to commit to this. But it looks pretty intense. So, let me know which one. Coffee crawl. Don't vote for coffee crawl. I'm up for I've been wanting to try this for a long time. I just don't know how interesting it'll be for you of just watching me trying to find numbers. And I wonder if we have a magnifying glass somewhere in the other room, possibly in one of those little tubs on the shelf. Because the other thing is, I don't know what the pictures are going to be. Is there a thing or is that part of it? We want to just wait and see what the picture is, or is there like a reference? Oh, there is. So we could actually okay, and then that's the next question, I guess, is do we want to pick one, or do we want to find a surprise? But that's if we even end up doing that. At the moment,
I think it's the coffee crawl.
At the moment, we're actually heading into dopamine colouring. So while I wait for that poll, let me show you a few other things that we've got. So the new colour cubes are behind me, but I am not giving you more than this little extra sneak preview because you have to watch the video later this week where we're going to have the full reveal. But there are 4 cubes here, and they are a little bit different to what you might have seen before. So more to come on that. I have Vibrant Wilds here. This is the one, I still haven't finished this page. We did this in a live stream, so we'll have to finish this in one of our member live streams. But there's that if you want to. Oh, there's another page I didn't finish. I think one day we just need to do a live stream of me finishing all the pages that I've started and never finished. So then we have our colouring planners are now in stock for 2026. So these, we've got 2 different sizes available and they come in gift boxes, and I believe these are my sample ones, so there are probably pages missing. But if you're someone, yes there is. If you're someone who likes colouring and likes planning, we have our colouring planners. They've now arrived in all our warehouses, so if you do want them, these are very limited stock every year because being yearly, we do not want to have thousands of them left in our garage at the end. So we do a very limited run. I think this year we only printed like 1,000 of each, maybe, Shane? Don't know.
Yeah, not too many this year.
We kept it pretty small. So if you want one, it is something you kind of have to get in quick. Don't leave it to the last minute. But that's that.
We've got a comment here that says, finish please. I wonder if that means finish the live stream or finish the artwork. Finishing the artwork, I think, would be a great future live because it's not even just those ones.
I have so many pages that I've never finished. We wouldn't even be able to do them all in one live stream. But it could be a fun thing to just take on one day.
Diane has also asked, what is a coffee crawl?
This is not a term you know in America. So
an Australian thing.
It's kind of like so we also have a pub crawl.
I think that's where it originated.
Pub crawl. A pub crawl is kind of where you go to a pub and then you go to another pub and then you go to another pub and you go to another. Like you crawl.
Eventually,
I don't know why you're
crawling between pubs, probably because you're drunk.
So coffee crawl is the intention of you basically just go somewhere and visit all the coffee shops one after the other. Probably not great for your caffeine levels. I'm sure Shane would love that. But it looks like we're doing dopamine colouring today. I'm up for that. All right, so putting away the giant dot to dot for another day. It's also Marvel. I don't know if that was the off-putting thing, if it's just the fact that we don't really want to do superheroes, but we'll put that away. And instead I have my dopamine colouring collection. So let me run you through the concept here. If you were here last time, I've sort of further defined this term in my head, but also if you weren't, this is your introduction. So the concept of dopamine colouring, it comes from a few things. So the idea of chaos colouring is kind of a little bit of inspiration of this, of like breaking all the rules. Now, that is how I like to create in general, of like, forget the rules, forget what media is not supposed to go together, all that kind of stuff. Like, embrace mixed media, embrace the mistakes. If you make a mistake, just keep working and cover it up with more stuff. And just do what it takes to enjoy the process, even enjoy the messy middle a lot more. So that's kind of like the essence of it. But where we bring in the dopamine is actually, and this is where I was saying it's based off like dopamine decor, is we're not talking about dopamine like the dopamine that everyone's trying to detox from like technology. That's like an unhealthy way to rise your dopamine. What we're looking for is things that just bring you joy in general and therefore gives you a natural dopamine build. So part of like doing this and being a bit more chaotic and messy is to release the dopamine chemicals, but then also we kind of try to amplify that a little bit more by picking certain colors that naturally make people happier. So we're actually avoiding all of the really dark colors in this. And I know for me, I've been really working a lot with pastels, which is funny because I usually avoid pastels, and neons, which is also funny because my neon pencils are just not used. I avoid neon so much. But when I found that when I do bring a bit of neon into some coloring, especially if it's like a neon yellow or a neon pink, and use it as an accent, not to like color a whole slab, but use it just like as accents, it makes me really happy. And it's like just this splash of bright. And that feeling is what I'm trying to capture with this process. So I've created what I consider to be a little bit of if I was to do a dopamine coloring party, this is the kit that I would put together. And it's something that, I guess, yeah, I'd like to think through, like, if other people are wanting to do this, what supplies are the sort of like go-to supplies? So all of the pages that I've printed here, these are actually just mini samples from my Vibrant Wilds coloring pages. And I'm actually curious, as a separate note, not that we need more ideas right now of things to keep me busy, but this got me thinking, would you guys be interested in a mini Vibrant Wilds? Like a pocket size Vibrant Wilds, or even just postcards that you can buy, and we could like print them on either mixed media paper like the current Vibrant Wilds, or we could do like these that are actually on the marker paper. So like you could have either option or both, and they could either be like a book of little postcards for like one-off things like this, or we could bring out a mini coloring book that is the mini Vibrant Wilds, that is essentially some of these beautiful little assets that work on their own as like a miniature page.
You could have them like postcard size with like a perforated edge, and you sort of just tear them out of like a...
Yeah, that would be another option, is we could make a mini Vibrant Wilds but with perforated pages so that you could rip them out. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm curious. I'll come through and read all your comments a bit later on what you think in terms of those ideas of whether you would like a mini Vibrant Wilds. It's just like a miniature coloring book, or like that is in every other way the same as Vibrant Wilds, but like I'll redesign the pages to be more miniature friendly and simpler, so they're more like for quick coloring sessions, or whether you would like a postcard pack that's a bit more like this, and we could even do like 2 different types of paper in the one pack with like each one printed twice, or whether it would be good to have, because the other thing is if we did a mini book, it'd probably be double-sided like the current thing. If we did like perforated edge postcards in a book, that would be single-sided, or we don't do the perforation, we just do a postcard pack. So there's a few options here I think that we could do. But I think it'd be a really fun thing to do, and I think I'd enjoy that because it's a lot less pressure than to colour a page, and sometimes you just want something small.
I'm seeing a lot of yeses in the...
Yes is good. I need to know which option you like. Just let me know your thoughts, because I'll come back through and read these comments later and see, okay, great, which way are we heading with this? And I think it's an idea. I think if we get more feedback on this idea, because if we're going to do it, I want to make sure it's what you all want. And maybe it's something we can look at doing next year. I haven't even told Shane this idea yet. So, Shane, what do you think?
Love it.
So, yeah, that's just a thought. For this, because I'm trying to work out what is the ideal like dopamine colouring kit, when I started this, I did it with alcohol markers, and I really like how alcohol markers feel. So that's why I've printed these all on alcohol marker paper. Doesn't mean that's your only option. You could do it all with water-based markers or even watercolors, but I'm trying to work out, like, if we were potentially to even create like a digital sort of cheat sheet on how to build a dopamine colouring kit, what would we include? And so I think for that, I want to simplify it and go, great, some alcohol markers. And again, you can see I've picked a range of colours here that are all basically pastels, and then a few really bright colours. There is no sort of darker shades here. So that's kind of the colour range that I consider to be the dopamine colour range. There's probably also like, there are 20 pinks here that are almost the same pink. So like you could do it with a lot less colours. But and then I've got just some pencils. I've just got Artex pencils because I didn't feel comfortable taking my Prismacolors travelling. And the Artex are pretty much the closest to a Prismacolor. So I've done the same there of just, bring these down so you can see them on the top camera there. Again, similar, I've got a few darker ones here just in the pencils, because then if you want to add shadows, you've got a few options. But otherwise, again, these are all just bright and pastel. And I think, no, there's no neons here. Maybe that might be a neon. I'm not entirely sure. So I've got those there. And then I've got paint pens, which I've got, that is not a paint pen. I've got a few different brands here, because I don't want to limit to one brand while I'm still trying to figure this out and experiment with different markers. So I've got here the Sharpie Creative markers, and I've got a few different Artex ones. I think that's actually it. I don't have any other brands at the moment. So I've got a few whites, and I've even got these white gel pens, but just white pens in general. There's another white, because they're good for just those last little sparkles or whatever you want to add. I don't think we did white on these ones. Oh, that one we did white. The last little bright sparkle and just dots and splatters. And then we've just got coloured paint pens, because they're just really fun for layering and for doing stuff like that. And again, you can tell the colour range. We've got a few darks in some of those just simple colours, and then the rest is very light. And I think there's a few neons here, although I probably should swatch these out so I actually know what I'm working with. I also have some highlighters, because I found these to be a really good low pressure fun way to start. These are not alcohol ink, they're water-based, so you could use these whether you do the watercolor version of this or alcohol marker version of this. I don't know that these are really, they're not going to blend with the alcohol markers, but they should layer. I don't see why not. So they're actually a really fun way to start. Whoop, and they're all falling out. I think that's actually the most fun way to start this, because it's really low pressure. And then the last things I have for some final touches later as an optional extra, just some basic stencils, because I think that's a fun way to add some texture. Optional. And of course, some color cards that I think represent our dopamine color scheme and are very just happy, bright color palettes. So these are the ones that I chose for that. So that is, in my head, the dopamine coloring kit, if there was such a thing. So today, I want to try just some little pictures, and we might try a few because I'm sure we'll have time. So we can try a few different palettes and see how we get different results based on the different palettes. I don't even remember which one we used for the last one. Looking at that, lots of pinks and purples. So maybe we'll try something a bit different this time. This one's a bit more like almost a muted one out of all the others. So maybe that's a good place to start. And I'm thinking we start simple. So something like one of these could be a really good starting point. Let's do this one. I'm going to put some paper underneath it. And we're going to go for it. All right. So here's our color reference from the new palettes. 821, which would put that in volume 3. So we've got these colors with all of our, this I think is actually a sample card. I don't think, Shane, you might remember, we don't have 2 lines on any of the actual final cards. I'm pretty sure we adjusted that.
Yeah, I think
so. This is a sample. So the cards are slightly better quality and slightly different to what that is, but actually, should I check? Let's have a look. Oh, no, I can't show you. No, I'm not going to show you. Look at me teasing. Okay, so we're going to go for these colors, which means we are going to look at a few of that darker blue. So I'll pull some of them out. And then we need a lot of tealy colors. Now, the thing about this is I don't want us to stress too much about the colors matching perfectly. You can still swatch them if that makes you feel better. But we want it to be pretty low stress and just fun.
If you were going to swatch them, what would you swatch them in?
Oh, swatch decks would be a great idea. All my swatch decks, I took them all to America, so they're all in a box somewhere. All I have is, I'm going to find them. All I have is this one that I'm pretty sure is completely blank. So one day we need to just do a swatch party and I need to just swatch all my supplies out. But we'll get to that. Because, no, let me get into this and then we're going to talk. Because one of the things that we're going to be talking about at the end of this week is a very special new thing that will also assist you with your swatching and so much more. And I do want to give you a little bit of a run through without, I guess, showing you because I can't, what that is. Now, I've got way too many markers, but I like drawing with a lot of markers. So you can see here my color range. The half of these are probably the same. Like, no, they're all different. They're all different. They're all different. Oh, no, even that. Oh, I didn't. For me, that actually does have a lot of doubles. Somehow, I have no doubles. These are all different colors, which is crazy. So there's my color range. There's my color palette. We're going to use that. And we're going to do this drawing. But let's start. I want to put down a few highlighters. So actually our highlighters are also kind of the right colors here. We've got this one, and it may be, that's not quite the right pink. I'm going to leave that one out. So we're just going to add a bit of this. So we can, with this, just get a bit of color on, roughly. No rules, no lines to worry about. It's way more fun just doing it like that. Look at that. It's already half colored in 2 seconds. So the alcohol isn't going to blend with what we just did, and that kind of works. It means that it'll layer, whereas if we do alcohol on alcohol, then it will blend. Now, the other thing that I kind of like doing here, so that one's a bit of a darker one. I actually think this is best done with the pastels and the chisel tip, which I never use for anything else. I always use the brush tip. But this is such a good excuse to use the chisel tip because then it's a lot harder to be neat. And it kind of works in your favor because it forces you to just keep it loose and fun. So I think if I was to like create like a kit for this, I'd probably put all the pastels on the chisel end and then put the medium colors on the other end. Now the cool thing here with this color palette is if I'm putting the pink over this teal color, it's actually making the dark blue color. So even better. I've already almost got enough color down for the base already. Oh, I like that. That's a good pink for this sort of color here. The thing I love about this is just how quick you can actually do it as well. Okay, so what do we got here? A bit more of a darker green. I mean, I think that for a base layer is pretty good. We've got our pastels down. So, if you are worried about your colouring being messy, Exhibit A, we love mess. So this is our starting point for our dopamine colouring. And it was fun and it was quick and I love it. So that is exactly what dopamine colouring is all about. Now, the next step, we're going to bring out our medium colours. Now with the medium colours, I do put a little bit more effort in because, and I don't know the rules of chaos colouring in this regard, but like to just scribble all over the page constantly isn't going to leave you with something you're proud of at the end. So this is where we do that with the first layer with mostly the pastels. But then when we bring in the darker colours, we start to actually look at, oh, where would I put some shadows? Now we're not doing them precise. These are still very rough, but by adding a few shadows, it makes it still look like a cohesive art piece despite the chaos. So that's what I want to do here. So our darker colours, we've got our blues here, we've got the darker pink, and we've got what turned out to be somewhat dark colours here. So they're not quite the pastels anymore. So these are the ones we're going to use. And we're still going to be rough. You can still use the chisel if you want. But we're going to just sort of colour in some of those gaps a bit more and behind the other leaves. So this is our shading. It's very rough still, but we're trying to just colour more on areas that potentially would be shadows. So anything behind or underneath to create a little bit of depth, even though everything is really rough. And I find the darker I go, the more careful I go. Now we probably also want some down the side of our pot here to give our pot a bit of shape. So we're going, oh, that was a lot darker than I thought. Oh well.
Why do you like alcohol markers?
They just lay down solid colour really quickly. And that's something that I like. Whereas water-based, and the other thing is like here, like I'm doing a lot of layering and I can just keep adding color. If you have water-based markers, you have to stop and think about how wet the paper gets because water-based markers will soak up the page and eventually will tear the paper. So you have to kind of wait a bit more in between layers. Or if you're wanting them to blend, then you have to be really strategic. If you're using like a watercolor paper, then you'll be fine. But if you're using like a normal paper, you do have to be more careful. So the other thing I liked about this one that I think is a cool idea here is just outlining some of the lines with the darker colors too. So I'm gonna try that of just like add some edges, and it doesn't even have to be like I've just done pink, blue on pink, blue on green. Like they don't have to match the colors already there if you're sticking with the palette. The palette is the key. Whoa, that's more red than pink. The things we discover as we go. That's what makes it fun though, right? That is a lot. I might not come back to that color. It's a bit too red. Oh, that's not much better.
Probably should have had those swatched
out
out
I probably
first,
should have swatched them, eh? That's all right. We're going to just bring it back in with the pink here. No rules. All right. What do I need? I don't know. It doesn't really need anything, but what do I want to do is the question. So I'm kind of just now looking at spots that feel like they're still just need a bit more to them. You notice when my concentrating face is usually this. It's like I try to blur it in my eyes because if I squint, then my brain sees the color rather than the detail. That's a terrible habit. I'm going to put a bit of a slightly darker thing under here because then it'll feel like that's actually like a lip, even though it can't be a lip because it doesn't go further out. It's actually just a pattern, but that's what it is now.
I feel like this is like a perfect example of the whole trust the process thing of like bringing an artwork to like the brink of like absolute chaos and then bringing it back to something that looks good.
You're assuming that I'm going to bring it back. No, you're right. So, and my rule with this is if I ever feel like I'm getting too like structured, I just come and put a big scribble and that sort of forces me to let go again.
We have a comment from Nessa, one of our members. Is there a resource I don't know about yet that matches Colour Cube colours with actual pencils by brand or something? I don't know. Am I making sense?
Oh, all right. Well, is it time for us to have a talk? A talk while I colour? Or because I'm sorry, I'll get distracted, you know that. But, well, the next part of this is pencils. So maybe while I just add some details with pencils, we can talk about what you're talking about and about what we're releasing this week. Well, it's not going to be fully ready this week, but what we're announcing this week. So first, let me explain to you. So what I'm going to do with my pencils is, again, we're going to stick with these same colors. We're doing the color palette. This is basically like a color palette challenge, which makes it fun. But here, I'm going to keep working in just details around the outside. So same sort of thing here. Some of it I'll just add some scribbles in different places, but again I'll just kind of work around the outside of my objects and then in more shadow areas. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm just going to get some more. These aren't even sharp, but I don't know where my sharpener is right now, so we're just going to roll with them. That looks like a fluoro. Woo! Is there another one? Is there another fluoro? Fluorescent neon? I don't want yellow though. Is this one neon?
If you look at some of your earlier videos, the amount of times you like trash talk neons and metallics.
Oh yeah, I hate neons and metallics.
You got like your Prismacolors and you sort of like almost just threw them in the bin.
Basically, I mean, let me show you. It's really easy to find my neon pencils in my Prismacolor because they're the tallest ones in the whole set. They're huge. So, oh, sorry about the coughing. That's the aftermath of being sick. All right. So these are the colors I'm going to use with my pencils to just keep adding layers. I've already added a lot of layers in a very short time, but that's the fun here. While I do that, so we have the new color cubes coming out, as we have talked about, but there is something else that we are launching that we haven't said really much about at all. And that, oh, we actually, no, we did on the pre-release. We told a few people about it. And that is the new color companion. Now, if you've seen the old color companion, you might go like, yeah, that's not that surprising. That's not that exciting, whatever. But it's actually changing completely. What used to be the color catalogs are going to be no longer. We're redoing the color catalogs in a completely new system, along with a whole bunch of other features for the color companion. To give you the headlines of what the color companion will do, you will be able to, whether like with a free account on a website, even if you haven't bought any digital color cubes or anything like that, you're going to be able to take any color that you can imagine. This color, no, this color, right? You're gonna be able to take this color, pop in the hex code, or you can just drag a color wheel to find your color if you don't have a hex code for it. And you're going to be able to pick any of your supplies, whether it's Ohuhu markers or highlighters or pencils or DMC threads or fabric or miniature paints or anything that we can think of that we can get a hex code for to put into our system, which eventually we hope is a very, very big range of things. It won't start that big straight away, but we'll get there.
Lego bricks.
Lego bricks, why not, right? And you'll be able to find the exact matching color to that supply. That's just one thing. You're also going to be able to take, say you want this exact green, and maybe not highlighters because they're like neons, a bad example. Let's say you want this exact blue in a pencil, but you only have these two pencils, right? No, not these two pencils. You have these pencils, right? The system will tell you out of the pencils that you have, which two pencils you can mix together to get the closest to this. So we're going to have a bit of a mixing calculator on there as well, which will help you to find the best match in any supply converted to any supply. Now, on the Pro account, because we're going to have a lot of this for free. But if you're
so before we go into that, because there's a couple of questions. If you're on our website at the moment and you see the color catalog and color companion, or the full color suite, it's not those.
No.
So,
this is a new thing. Do not go buying those assuming you get it.
I think if you wait until the launch on Friday, you'll see everything. But don't go buying like the color catalog and companion from the website. No,
that's a good bit of advice to give, because they are outdated. That's not true. They're not outdated. They work very well with everything. They still do exactly what they've always done, but they are not going to be the new system. And as we re-release all of our color cubes, the new cubes will not match the old catalogs. The old cube, the first edition cubes will match the catalogs. Instead, we're doing a new experience for all of these. You'll still be able to print out a version of that for people who like the color catalog experience. There'll be a version you can print from this, but in terms of like searching for your actual palettes and stuff like that, the new digital color cubes is basically kind of come in place of what was the color catalog. But the digital color cubes, you'll be able to either export like the catalog, or you'll be able to access on the new companion website, so that you can actually grab this and in a few clicks find every Prismacolor pencil that matches this. And you'll be able to do that for multiple palettes, for any of the palettes that you own, you'll be able to do that. But also, if you don't own the palettes, you'll be able to put in the codes and do it yourself manually. And even more to that, you'll be able to print out a sheet like the original Color Companion that has your palette and your matching supplies to it. So there'll be things like that that are options. If you're someone who decides to upgrade to the Pro account, you'll also be able to create your own art stash. So you'll be able to say, okay, I've bought the newer Hoo-Hoo markers, but I don't have the full set. I have half the set. So you'll be able to go in and select exactly which ones you own and save them to your own art stash, so that your digital art stash will be a perfect match for your real life art stash. And then when you're going to all the other tools on the website, looking at the color palettes, looking at converting between brands, it will only use the supplies that you actually own. So rather than trying to match a color from here and finding that, well, I don't own the biggest set of Prismacolor, so now it won't match, it will look at your 72 set or the open stock ones that you've bought, and it will tell you from those which one is the perfect match for the color that you're trying to match. So there's a lot of things that we're working on. We're going to have a preview of it all in the launch video, so definitely something to keep an eye out for later in the week. And we will actually have a lifetime option available as well for people that want the Pro features but don't want a subscription, because I know there's a lot of people in that boat. So we'll have a lifetime option as well. And because this website isn't going to be ready this week, it's probably still a couple of months away. We're hoping to have it all together by the end of the year. We'll see how we go. We are going to offer like a founding members lifetime option that's a bit more of a discount for people that are like, I want it now even though it's not ready yet. There'll be some more details about that coming this week. Lots of fun. A lot of
the artists that you've shown, like, because you've shown the color cubes and the companion to people, there's a lot of people who seem to be more excited about the companion than the new color cubes.
Like the new color cubes people that I've shown are kind of like, yeah, that's cool. There's some good improvements you've made. And then I show them the companion and they're like, oh, this changes everything. So I am very excited to show everyone once we sort of get all the information together. I think you're going to really love it. I think it's going to be really useful, and there's going to be so much that you can use without even like paying, that it's going to be really useful, I think, to everyone. And hopefully over time we can really build. It's going to be a lot easier for us. Like, I know the existing companions that we had a lot of people that were patiently waiting for new brands, and it would take me or someone in my team 40 hours for every new brand we wanted to add, and then there would be typos or mistakes in like interpreting handwriting and stuff like this. It was all very manual. So we've actually built a lot of stuff with this that basically the computer's going to do it for us. So we don't need to sit there and manually over hours add a new brand. We just need to get the original samples of the brand. And initially, look, we'll just use the manufacturer's details initially, stuff on the website. But over time, we will get our own scans to be far more accurate so that every brand we have the closest reference possible, so that when you're picking this up, you know that this color is the color on the website a lot more accurately. There is always going to be, like, it's never going to be perfect because you're dealing with on screen that is based off light compared to inks. However, we're going to try and have it as like close perceptually accurately as possible. And even the mixing that we're going to have, we've got a different maths methodology that I've built for pencils compared to like alcohol markers that like layer compared to like watercolor inks and how they layer compared to paints and how they blend as well. So like there's different sort of mixing methodologies for the different types of mediums so that we can hopefully make it a fairly accurate resource for everyone to use. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And on that, I am moving on to some paint markers. So I've got a mix of brands here, similar sort of color range again. And here, the thing is I've sort of reached a point with the alcohol markers that everything else I add just starts to blend all the colors together. So this gives us a chance to kind of just freshen up and bring some lighter colors in again. So yeah, a bit of just fun.
Truck.
I don't know why I put that light color down there because that should probably be a dark color, but sometimes we just gotta mix things up a bit. All right, I do want to put more green back in because these are plants after all. Okay, I have to say, of all the paint markers, these ones feel like they dry out really quickly. I much prefer these ones by Artex. I think I talked about this last time. I am going to do a paint marker comparison soon. I just feel like this one, I can't just like, oh, you know what? It's not the marker. It's the marker on alcohol ink, which is weird. I didn't think that should be a thing. I don't know why that would not be working how I think it should work. It doesn't fully make sense. It's like not full. It's like a little bit opaque or something. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Caitlin has asked how spring is for us, and has it warmed up yet? The problem with Melbourne is that you'll get like a really hot and dry winter, and then as soon as it clocks over into like summer, it just starts raining and it's really cold. Yeah, so we don't really get spring. We get second winter, pollen season. We get about 2 weeks of spring. We had a week of spring last week. It was great. And now we're back into second winter. No, third winter. I don't know. Melbourne's weird. All right. This is looking chaotic and I love it. I'm trying to work out what else I want to add because these feel like they're just the same color again. What is it missing? It probably needs a little bit of just something darker. I feel like a dark, like the dark blue, just in some of these shadows to just really separate the front from the back a bit. And I feel like it probably needs some splatters. It's too neat. I'm just going to add some dots as if it was paint splatters. I do like how quickly this sort of just comes together. Is that the same colour? Basically the same colour. Might be the same colour actually. Oh, what is with that? That just blended into the other mark. Oh. You see, again, some of these don't like. Gee, I never thought that would be a thing. That they don't go well on the alcohol marker. I didn't know that was a thing for what is an acrylic marker. Tracy in the comments says that alcohol dissolves the acrylic paint.
Yeah, that's so weird. But then some of them doesn't have that issue. It might depend. Like, so that there is quite thick, whereas this one is quite thin. So it won't even, like you can see. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing to consider when I do my testing of like, yeah, the fact that not all paint markers work on alcohol ink is not something I expected to be a thing. So that is really interesting to me. The thing I like about the paint markers is it allows me to put a completely different color on top of an existing color and like create an intentional clash. It's a very clashy piece right now. What does it need? It needs some white is what it needs, I think. It needs some white. White is always like the secret weapon at the end. So I've got a white. Whoa, no. The lid came off. Whoops. There we go. That's weird. I like how the white, I guess it's kind of like, not accurately, but like artistically a bit like a rim light in a way, to have the white on the edges. Probably helps if I do this one a bit neater. And instead of doing everything full lines, breaking up some of the lines and doing some dots is another fun way to make it a bit less perfect.
Which paint markers actually do work over alcohol markers?
Well, these ones do. So this is the Artex ones. I don't know the packaging difference between these and these. So this one that says high adhesion is not. This one that says strong coverage is. So this is a question that I need to figure out when I do my marker comparison soon. So I'll put it on my list of things to figure out. Which ones handle alcohol markers? All right, I'm getting close to what I think is probably the end of this first piece. Just a few more splots around. What do we think? We like it? Does it feel dopamine-y? Dopamine-ish? Dopamine-like? Does it feel done? What do you think? First piece? I think it's kind of cute.
Tracy says, I like getting dotty on my artwork too.
Yeah, Dotty's my favourite hack. See? Dotty on here as well. The dots is what, at the end, you go, oh, it's supposed to look messy like that. It's the dots. All right. What do we think? Are we happy with this one? Should we try a second one? How are we doing for time? We're halfway in. We got time for another one.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty successful rendition of this colour palette.
And the second one, I'll actually remember to come and hit record on the overhead camera for you.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I think that works really well. I'm really happy with that. I think it's kind of a bit fun. I like that it's like a little mini piece of art. Do you know what I do need to do with some of these mini pieces of art? Once Shane... Oh, did you get zapped by the camera?
Yep.
Our cameras zap us all the time. At least it didn't like shut the whole thing down, because that has happened. Just getting the focus right, getting the record going. We're recording. Was this just your secret way to not be on camera? To have it on the top camera while we do that? All right, so what I was thinking that I should do with some of these is replace some of the artwork that I put up on my wall as a placeholder. So this one, and this giant one are all, Shane? are all not, they were never supposed to be permanent. These are supposed to be placeholders for new art and I never replaced them. And in like a year's time, we're going to be moving into a new studio and we've never replaced the art. So here's what I'm thinking. A bit of dopamine colouring to go, you know, that one fits perfect in that. And then I could even paint the frame, the inside, maybe not, I don't know. What do you think? Should we put some new art on the wall? What I think we should put here is I actually did a drawing ages ago, and we're going to make it bigger and put that up here. What I think we should put up there is we got, for the first edition Colour Cube, I actually got the manufacturer to send us some uncut sheets of the palettes. And we thought that'd be a really cool thing for members. Maybe you're still interested for our members to send out and to offer these uncut sheets of the cards. The funny thing now
Do you want me to grab one?
Sure. Yeah, why not? The funny thing now is that we've changed all the cards, and so the numbers are all different. So these uncut sheets are now cards that are no longer in print. So they're, I don't know, maybe that makes them even more unique because they're like the first edition uncut sheets of colour cards. I think I should put one up here. We'll see how big it is because I'm pretty sure they're like twice the size of that panel. But it's cool, and I could cut one down. We have quite a few of them. So Shane's going to go get one now, and I can show you what I mean. Because I think that would be a really good fit here. Something different, rather than this thing that just came with the frame. It's pretty, but like it doesn't really fit the rest of my look. So I think we should make some final shifts and updates for the last few months that we have this studio. The other thing I was thinking about doing is torturing our entire team in the setup, but actually just move this whole desk around a bit so that you can see a bit more of my office. Here we go. Look at this. How cool is this? And the back, because they are the cards, so you have two sides. So I would have to cut it down. But, oh, look at that. It's the perfect height. That's clearly meant to be. The question is, what do you think? Do we do the front in here, or do we do the back? Because it's a bit more just like slab of colour. I don't know. What do we think? Front or back?
I like the back, how you've got it now.
I feel like I like the back too. It's a bit more...
Caitlin has responded just with a bunch of Moscow emojis.
Well, should we ask Moscow his opinion? Moscow's not around. This is the front. Nah, I like the back. The back is the way to go. So I'll get that in at some point because I think that is a much better use of that space. Bit of extra fun. And if any of our members, maybe we can organise that. Let's get the launch out of the way first. We've got a few big projects, but we'll keep that on the radar. Maybe it'll be an early next year thing of if any of our members want an uncut sheet that you can...
Maybe it could be like a teal members gift.
Yeah, gift for our teal members. So if any of our teal members want one, let's work it out. All right, we're going to do another page. So this, I like it. I like how it's come out. That's cute. That's simple. And it kind of matches this one more than I thought it would because we did use a different colour palette. But it's the concept. So this colour palette is done. What have we got next? Let's have a look. Whoa, let's try something different. This one is a bit riskier. Do you think we could do those colours? Or what else have we got? It's very pink. This one's a bit more just pastel-y. This is like my go-to colour palette for so many things. I love this colour palette. I'm actually kind of feeling this one. It'd be a bit, not really a challenge, but a bit different to anything. I don't think I've really used this combination of colours before. So let's see. What colours do we need? We need, now this blue is almost a bit more like a cyan blue. Turquoise surf.
Is that a new card?
Oh, maybe not. This might be an old card. I think this is from the first edition. Because I don't... Well...
Doesn't look familiar to me. Maybe.
I'm not sure. You know what? I'm going to find out. Keep the camera there for a second. It would be in volume 1. And it would be number... What is it? Number 58.
Caitlin says it's not.
It's not new. Here's the new one. Ah, no, it is. Okay, so this was the new one, but see how we've updated the colours are a little bit smaller so that we can fit them in a bit nicer. And, okay, so here's actually an update that I don't think we've mentioned even in our launch video, but I've actually adjusted the size of these to make it fit a little bit better because we did have some names that were like really spread out and we struggled with having the extra space. So we've made them a bit smaller, but I also did redo the actual colours themselves so that when you have colours, because this is like a white strip, this is like a black strip, and so some of the colours, it was just more black, whereas this now is like a richer version of that colour compared to what they used to be. So, yeah.
Caitlin says it is a new one.
Yeah,
because
cool.
she's flipped through her cards a lot. So she knows.
This is the thing, because I started making some of these new ones back in July last year. So you're talking 18 months since some of these new palettes were made. Before I even sort of realized that we were going to do it as like extra volumes, I did start making some more palettes because I was like, we're going to use them at some point. So I've completely lost track of which ones are new and which ones are not because I've seen them so many times now that like, yeah, they feel very familiar. So, but I do like this one. So this one we need, so we're going back to our alcohol markers. I should probably put some of these away, but that's, whoops, not really how I roll, is it? We need some blue, but actually a bit of a almost like, oh, nailed it. Look at that, first go. But yeah, we'll get some of those kind of.
Do you just want to mention what art supplies you're using as you go through?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So my alcohol markers that I'm using this time around are Ohuhu alcohol markers. Just trying to find a lighter one. They're all not actually as light as they look. That's such an annoying problem. So yeah, Ohuhu alcohol markers. I don't know that I really have this colour in the markers, so we might have to just see. I might have to go find it because I didn't put it in my dopamine colour range because it's a little bit not quite a colour that I would normally pick for something like this. Although that's pretty close actually, so we could go with that. It might be something we can bring in a bit more. It's not as bright, so maybe this palette is a little bit less of the dopamine colours than usual, but we can still make it work. We'll just need to bring in some sort of pale yellows, I guess. That's a paint marker. And then where's that pink that was actually a red? That one. That's still very pink, but let's see. Maybe even some peachy kind of colours. Oh, that's very orange, but let's try it. That's more the red. So it's going to be pretty intense, actually. Because I don't know that I have these in the right range. Ayala, welcome to Gold membership. Being a Gold member means that you'll be able to join our Discord as well, which is very fun, very exciting, and we'll be very excited to have you. Okay.
And I got to press the new member button. That's always exciting.
All right, so these are colours that I didn't expect to put in my dopamine colouring range because they're a bit more muted, but I think overall, we'll see if it still works. What else have I got here? I need, what am I looking for? That kind of tannish colour. Not that. Wow, that is not what I thought it was going to be. That is not a whole lot better. I mean, nah. Let me keep looking. Whoa. Dark? No thanks. Oh, that one maybe. Yeah. Alright, let's use that one. We'll probably only need one of that colour. Probably not that one. Alright. My colour range. Be interesting to see how this one turns out. I have a feeling that we're going to need to use more of the blues because like even the picture, there's a lot of the blue turquoise colour, but then the other colours are kind of just like accents. So I think we need to keep that in mind with whatever we're choosing to colour. And I just realised that all of these pictures, every single one of them are plants. Oh wait, no, not every single one, but close to. I found a butterfly. What else? Oh, there's a whole stack over here. How did I not see these? Okay, so I've got some butterflies and more plants. Ooh, mushrooms. That could work because of the red. Oh, let's try that. I don't know how we're going to go. Well, no, we can still do it time-wise because it's a quick process. This could be interesting. Let's see if we can pull this off with this colour palette. What do we think? And then we can use some highlighters again. This time we could probably sneak in this colour because it's sort of a little bit between these. So we're going to try that. So we've got highlighters, we've got a hoo-hoo markers. Once we're done with the markers, we're going to come in with some Artex pencils. And then once we're done with the pencils, we're going to come back to the acrylic markers, which we have Artex and we have Sharpie Creative Marker. So that's our range. Let's get some colour down and see what we come up with. This one is going to be interesting because
Sarah says your colours seem very mushroomy.
they do. I saw the mushroom was like, actually, I think this could work.
While you're colouring, how do you come up with what photos you use for the colour palettes?
So I hunt for these photos based on, there are only a few websites that I use because I want to make sure I have the rights to use the photos. That's really important to me. But this is actually something that I had someone ask recently of like, how do you find the palette? How do you find the picture that matches the palette? I actually go looking for photos first. So I'm looking at the photo like this and I'm looking at them going, which of these to me as someone who loves color grab me because of the color choices they've put together. And sometimes they're a bit unexpected like this. And so I'll grab this and then I'll sit in Photoshop and try to work out what are the colors that I think make this work. And so this one's fairly simple because you've got a big block of this one blue. So that's a very easy starting point. And then this color here is the color that's here. But you'll notice there's two reds here because I noticed that here you've got different lighting that has actually created a few different options. So sometimes the second color will come from shadows or something like that. And so I look at that and go, I think they work really well to represent that. Then here, this light color I've pulled from the outside of the clock and this color I've pulled from the skin. And I mean, even just that skin, there's a gradient there. So there's like 30 different colors along there. So I spent a lot of time sitting and just like picking one and looking at how it goes with the rest and picking another one and looking at how it goes with the rest until I find the group that I think best represents the picture but also works together. So it is a bit of a process for each one. It probably takes me, depending on the picture, anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes for a photo after I found the photo because I really want to make sure that I get it right. So they are all hand-picked for anyone that's wondering. I've seen a few comments on things where people have assumed that I've used AI. That's not the case. I've done them all by hand, which is why you can imagine how long it takes to make something like the color cube. So this is another good example where here there's a lot of different colors, and these actually make a bit of a gradient. That's just the order I choose to present them in because when I'm picking them, it helps me to see which colors work. But here you've got this dark blue has actually come from the water here. And when I look at this picture, what I see is I see a dark blue. I see there's two significant greens at least. You've got this lime, pale, pastel-y green, and then you've got this deeper teal. And there is actually some greens in between as well. So depending on the other colors will determine whether I just take the two or whether I took all three. And then you've got the pink here. So I've also then got the choice of just the light pink or the light and the dark pink, or potentially even there's almost a yellowy color in here as well. You can see what I've ended up going with is I did end up picking the 3 different sort of teal green range, because that is such a big part of this picture that if I had have cut one out, it probably cut the middle one out. It does kind of like, it does a lot better with that extra color. But I could have, if you're ever looking to add colors to this, you can actually have a look at what colors you can see. So you could actually add a color like this, because that's up the top here. You could actually add that in, say, the middle here or here. And this color would go with this range because it's also in the picture as well. So I try to limit it to 5 or 6 colors because I feel like more than that can get overwhelming. But these pictures all have a lot of colors in them, and sometimes even just adding one color actually will work really well if you can see that color prominently here. What I wouldn't do here is add like if you've got this blue, I wouldn't go adding, I mean, even then you could kind of add the in-between blue because it's kind of blended to these. But I definitely wouldn't add something like the red because I can't see that here. It might work here. Like I look at this and go, oh, maybe, but that takes a different kind of creative eye, and it can be a little bit fun to challenge yourself. But if you're wanting to just rely on what works, the picture has all the clues. So, and it can even help you to, like in this case, work out how you want to balance the colors, where you might want to use your pinks as your background, but if you want to go for this feel, you're better off using these colors as your background and your pink as your object or your accent. So you can actually use the picture to even help you think about how to use the colors together. And if you don't want the picture to distract you, the back can show you how the colors will just work if you tried putting them together as well. I think it's just that they look pretty cool. So I don't know if any of that made sense, but hopefully that helps a bit of just my thought process on how I picked those, and hopefully that'll help with your thought process as well. But let's get back to this. So now there is, like, I want to do this chaos style, but there is also some parts here where I feel like if I was just completely messy with the whole thing, I might not like it as much as if I did put some specific colors in some specific spots. So that's really a personal choice. I feel like here, because the mushrooms I really do think would look good in red, I'm gonna put more red up here and maybe not put red, or maybe like a dash of it, like, you know, down here or something. But generally speaking, I am gonna somewhat stick to certain areas just to kind of help guide the picture a little bit. Honestly, I'm making up the rules as I'm going along. You can ignore them, follow them, make up your own, disagree with me, whatever. It's supposed to be what you enjoy. The point is taking the pressure off of perfection and just enjoying the process. So pretty ugly so far. That's the goal. I mean, this is a bit of a challenging palette compared to some of the others. Let's bring the palette back so you can see my reference. But I still think we can make it work. That's too dark. I need some lighter colours. I think the biggest thing here I have to be careful with is because these are colours that are like complementary, I've got to be careful not to overlap them. Beside each other is one thing, but if they overlap, they're going to make a muddy grey. So that's something to just be aware of when you're doing this. Like, see how your colours overlap each other, because if they're going to make like a grey, it might not look as pretty. And so just let them overlap little bits, but try to keep big pockets of them where they don't. That's also where the paint pens can cover up some of that though. So again, don't stress too much about it. Oh, that's really dark. Didn't expect it to be that dark. Is that the colour I just had? No. This one's a bit more chaotic than some of the others have been. What I really need is like a light red, which will either head into like a peachy color or a pink. I kind of want to go more the peachy color because it's more in line with this. There's not really any pink here. Let me see what I can find. Actually, that first one's dried a bit less bright than it was. Not loving these colours, but I'm gonna trust it and just see where we end up. Pretty messy. All right. I think that's enough for my base. I'm a bit nervous about this one, but that makes it fun, right? So I'm going to start bringing in some darker colours, and I need to start thinking about, like, I do kind of want to pick a light source here. So if I imagine that the light's kind of at the top, then when I'm doing shadows, I'll kind of keep the shadows down this side and keep them rough. That's, I think, the important part. But like, well, that was a lot more than I thought. Probably shouldn't have gone so dark so quick, but let's kind of keep the dark stuff off to that side of every object rather than the other side. Give it some kind of depth, even with the chaos. This one's pretty chaotic. Shane, what have I done?
Not sure why you're asking me.
Oh, this is so much risk of turning into mud with this colour combination. It's also going very green. I don't want it green. It's making me a bit nervous, actually. All right, what have we got here?
Caitlin suggested that it's mood lighting.
Yeah, probably. It does feel a little bit like that, I guess. Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna start adding some splotches and things. That's my go-to, even though we're not at that last spot yet. It just makes me feel better because it's like, yep, it's supposed to be messy, guys. It's supposed to be. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Pencils. We can do this. So, I can. This is self-talk here because it's looking messy. We're in the messy middle.
Nobody's coming to help you.
It may not recover. That's okay. We got to enjoy the process even if it doesn't turn out good, because otherwise it's not dopamine coloring if we're not feeling good about it. So, what I need to feel good about in a moment like this, where I'm not sure if this can come back, and it looks a bit ugly. What I need to enjoy at the moment is that I gave myself the opportunity. Even if it ends in failure, it might not. This is now, because it's so messy, it's like the pressure should actually come off, because I don't have to create a masterpiece. Instead, now, because it's like, well, this might fail, right? So now I need to tell myself that actually, if this fails, I might as well experiment while I'm here. And I might as well enjoy the experimenting, because I don't know if I can salvage this. I probably still can. It wouldn't be the first time that I've come back from what looks like a horrific mess to something actually interesting. So it's not over yet.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. But I'm just talking you through what I'm doing in my head in a much faster, unseen way of like, I'm looking at it going, okay, well, I've come this far. Worst case, it was actually pretty quick. We're not like, this is, I guess, part of it is because we can do it so quickly. It also then doesn't have to be perfect, because worst
Sarah
case
says, come back. When did it leave?
I don't think it's gone anywhere just yet. I think we're okay. But there is an element of, this is not one of those things where you watch this video and go, oh, Sarah knows how to bring it back. Right now, I don't know. I don't know where this piece is going. That is the process. The process is letting go of the fact that I don't know if this is going to look good at the end, so I'm just going to have fun with that. And that's what we're going to do. So the next thing I want to do is add some pencils. Let me grab some colours that fit our look here.
Teresa in the chat has told you to read the t-shirt.
Make, fail, make, fail, make. Yeah, we're up to the first fail. So we've got another make and another fail to go before we get to our complete. Good advice. All right. So I've got a few different pencils here. They're very dark. How am I going to brighten this? What I probably need to do is embrace this bright and bring in even some orange to it. But first, let's just get in some pencils. Scribbly. Permission to scribble. Sometimes you just go scribble over the whole thing. All right. There's always at some point in this that there should be a comment on the video saying that looks like a 5-year-old did it. I'd say, well, no, because my 5-year-old actually colours in the lines. And my 5-year-old is actually a 6-year-old.
Do you remember early on when you were doing a colouring page, one of the comments was so disappointed every time she picks up a pencil?
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. So disappointed every time she colours, was the comment. People can be mean.
I actually think that's starting to look cool. I think
good.
that will recover really well.
Good, thank you. This is why you're here, for the pep talk when I talk myself out of it.
You can do it.
Yay! Cross-hatching just for fun.
There was a comment earlier on about, with the members, the Discord link. So after this live stream, we'll post a community post with a new Discord invite link for all of the...
Yeah, it keeps expiring, so we need to, we do need to post it every once in a while. So yeah, please remind us if you can't get in. It's not that we're trying to keep you out. We just need to put the link again.
Did you want to explain what the Discord is?
So Discord is our private community for our paying members. So for Silver Plus, we have a Discord group where we all hang out. I check it every day. I actually see every comment. It's really funny when everyone's talking about me in the third person. I'm just looking like a fly on the wall sometimes. But I see everything and I see everything. No, so it's a good place to hang out, ask questions, get to know some of our other members a bit better. A lot of the people that you see commenting here in the live stream are part of our membership, and we all have a great time. It's a lot of fun. I think I maybe went a little bit too scribbly with the pencils. Oh, we're good. We're okay. I'm okay. Just losing it slightly. We're okay. All right. Do I know where this is going? No. Okay, what I think we need here is some bright colours back. And I think the key to that is going to be our paintings. So, we need the right colours though. So, I think we'll stick with these again. That's part of this, is the challenge of the colour palette. There's a little bit of wiggle room though. So like This has got a tiny bit of green in it. So I feel like I can bring in this green even though it's not like a perfect match, right? That's because I need to bring back some fun color, right? So maybe even some of this green, although I don't know if that's going to work on top of the alcohol markers.
I have a comment that says, I'm so excited every time you pick up a pencil.
Yay! Much nicer version of that. To be fair, the one they were commenting on was not great. Okay, bright colours is my goal. I feel like I've lost all of my paint markers. I think they're just in this mess. It's getting a bit messy. But still, I would like to... Maybe I should bring in some fluoro orange because there's oranges in here. Fluoro orange feels like it could work for me. What's this one? Oh, maybe not quite the yellow. That yellow is probably a bit much too. I'm thinking some fluoro orange. Fluoro is the way out of this chaos. I don't know that I have all the colours I want. I need like another... This is probably not the right blue, but maybe... Oh, not on there. That wasn't supposed to be right. It is now. It's not the right blue, but it might work. I need to actually find my actual paint markers to pick a better blue. Where are they? I don't even know. I don't even know where they are. Wait, I found some of them. Maybe. There's no blue in there, though. My supplies are everywhere, guys. What do we got here? We've got just more green. That will do instead of that. Oh, this colour. Yeah. All right, we've got some options. Okay. I don't know about this blue. I feel like it's too cool for all of this. So I'm thinking more the warm stuff, which is actually more like the green and some of these other ones. Why is this? I have to always screw these back. Yeah, there we go. That's fixed. All right, let's just see. These are going to have that same problem that they had before of not really working, so I can't use that, which means this one will probably have the same problem. Oh, that one's not too bad. So I'm going to put the lighter colours on the left side again and the darker colours on the right to continue that sort of light and dark look. Green, we'll see what we can do with that. I wonder if we can even, because these would usually be like a white, wouldn't they? If I manage to pull this off, you all have to then commit to trying dopamine colouring. If I can turn this around into something that actually looks good, it's my challenge to each of you. You have to try this, if we can bring this back. I know that I've strayed a little bit from the colour palette. I've gone a bit more green because the blues that I put in ended up more green. So I just kept following that trail. Kind of dotting this on rather than trying to colour it in. Just cover it with every kind of effect is kind of part of my strategy here. Just keep adding colour. I do like when you get to the paint pens being able to put clashing colours on top of each other. I think that kind of helps explain the colours a bit more. Where you've got this, this red on top of the blue that you can't mix together, as we've seen. But by putting just the big dots, it kind of helps break it up a bit. How are we feeling? Is it getting there? Are we recovering?
There's a lot of love in the comments.
Oh, good. It's coming back. It's coming back. Hope is not lost. The paint pens are such a saving thing at the end, aren't they? Like, because the paint pens are not going to make mud. Everything else, when you keep layering, it just gets darker and darker. The paint pens brings back the bright, and I think that's why they work so well at the end. I mean, I guess if you're trying this for yourself, maybe you don't need to go as ambitious as I did. Like, don't pick something like this that's like really risky with this colour palette. Pick more of the happy bright pinks and blues and that. Unless you're up for the challenge, and then go all in. Okay. What am I doing now? Am I ready for my white pen? I'm actually thinking, so coming back to these. Now, when we did Shane's one, where's Shane's? We added the stenciling on top, and that really helped for Shane to bring it back together. I would like to sort of try and not do that in general, because to do stamps, it doesn't work necessarily with paint pens that well. You kind of need the stamping inks, and that introduces another supply, which is all good and well, but if I'm trying to create like, here's how you do this, I don't want to add more. People can add their own more. You can add whatever you want, but I want to kind of keep this an approachable quantity of things, right? So I feel like maybe I won't add stamps, even though it's tempting to do so. I'm seeing it. It's coming back. What I need, I think, to make this really come back is I keep saying come back, I know. The white will help. I also feel like maybe some of my shadows need to be stronger shadows. Like, I need to go darker. Because I don't have like a dark blue here, but it's accidentally made a dark blue by layering some. So I wonder if I can bring in the blue, or get really ambitious and bring in the black. Is that what I did on this other one? I did, right? One of them, this one, I brought in actual black, and it really finished it off. So where's my black here? I'm feeling like this color combination will work with some black to really push some of the shadows. Or is that just like ruined the whole thing? It's all right, we'll come back with a lighter color in a sec. Just got to be careful not to overdo the black, because that's really easy to do. And we'll add some other color back on top of it. Risky black. I don't really have the right blue that I want. So we're just gonna have to go with this blue. Oh, that's not really the right blue at all. Well,
can you do some smudging?
I can, but like, it's not really helpful at this point. I'm just gonna embrace this new blue and bring it in. My only concern here is that I've lost a lot of the shapes, but the white, I should be able to bring them back with the white. All right, we're going in. We're going in with the white. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit more gentle here because I want to actually redefine some of these mushrooms that I've lost in the process. So, and I'm just going to focus on the left side mostly because that's where the light source would be. I'm going to outline the left of each quite roughly again. And I wanted to do these dots on top with the white. That's how mushrooms are, right? Red with the white spots. Is that what they're supposed to be?
Can you define dopamine colouring? Again.
Shane, can you define dopamine colouring after what I've described? That was my purpose of this video, was to define it.
It's a mix of dopamine decor and chaos colouring. Where you basically throw out all the rules and use a colour palette that makes you happy. Bright, fun and nice.
Well done.
I mean, I suppose you could use a dark colour palette if that makes you happy.
Yeah, it's not like making you happy versus actually releasing dopamine, I guess, is probably very subjective. There are some colours that are known to release dopamine, which is kind of where I've headed, but there's no reason that you couldn't change it up. Like if dark stuff makes you feel happy, then that's what you do, you know? Ooh, actually, so I keep looking up here because up here I have the screen, and actually that allows me to sort of step away from it and look at it from a distance. It's my version of doing the squinty thing. I feel like I'm close. I don't know what I'm not happy with, but I feel like I like it. It's just, you know what I probably need to do is once this white dries, even go over the white with some of these other colors to sort of pull the white back in a bit, because the white's it's a lot right now. I do like it. I just feel like it's not finished yet. And I don't know what that looks like. So you can, after you've got the white kind of locked in, come back and add some color to it. Also those blacks, this kind of pulls the blacks in a bit more. That's the good thing about the white paint, is you can tint it after. Maybe overly dark. Okay, I think I'm actually just wrecking that marker now. Probably should tint it with pencils, not with alcohol marker. I wonder if I can tint some of... need a neon yellow here. Bring back some of that yellowish colour. I also could bring in, so I do have for the white, some really fine gel pens. These don't work well on pencils, but they do work well on, what do you call it? Alcohol marker. I don't know that it needs it actually, now that I've just started, because it is a bit scratchy still. Too many things layered at this point. I don't know, what do we think? Does it need more? Just trying to define some areas again because I do feel like I lost some of the definition. But I don't know if it really needs that or if I'm just being fussy at this point. What do we think? We done? I do like the red contrasting on everything else. What do you think, guys? Do you think we've done it? Oh wow, I went so many layers it went through the alcohol paper. Let me put it down, give you a closer look. Are we done? Are we done for our slightly riskier dopamine colouring? Is it missing anything else? Are we happy? Maybe a few. There's always more. There's always more I can add. I'm just gonna add a couple of tiny little blue splotches around. I love my splotches. No such thing as too much, right? Not there. If I don't stop here, I'm never going to stop. I think I'm done. I think we're done. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I think given that this concept is still... Like, okay, let's compare the two from today to the two from the last one that I did. I think this is coming along, this way of colouring. This was my first one. I mean, I still really love that one. I didn't like this one as much, but it was a busier image and I did use a bit more risky colours. These ones, I actually like these more. I really like how that has come out with that colour palette. And I do really like this little one as well. So there we have it, Dopamine Colouring round 2. And on that, we might finish up this live stream. We do have a members only live stream that will start in about 45 minutes. So usually it's half an hour, but I usually end this a little bit later. So 45 minutes from now, we will do a members only jumping back on live stream. We will decide with the members what we're going to do. Part of it may be cleaning my desk and sorting through some stuff. It's going to be a lot more casual live stream. Maybe we can even frame some of these things and put them on my wall. I mean, the problem with putting these on the wall is that they're entirely alcohol markers, so they're going to fade really quick. So I might take some nice photos of them and even scan them in before we do that. I'm really happy with how this came out. I think sometimes you just need to walk away and look back, but now I look at it and it makes me happy, and that's the goal, is that what you're doing is fun to do, but when you look at it later, you feel the joy as well. And I think these do that for me, and I think that's what I want dopamine coloring to do. So I do really like them. I think they're really fun. It's also for me a style of coloring that is a bit quicker, but also I think I really enjoy more than just normal coloring. And this is me, someone who started out as an extreme perfectionist. So I think for me, part of why I love this is that it's really freeing, and it actually challenges me to not be a perfectionist, but actually doing that is also it's kind of freeing. It's that feeling of like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. I want to just have fun. I want to make a mess, and it is a controlled mess. It's not like I do try on these, but it's a little bit like, I don't know, it lowers the stakes a little bit because you can always add more layers, and you're not spending 10 hours on something and therefore the wrong color really stands out. The fact that it is messy allows you to kind of hide a bit of the imperfections as well, because the whole thing is imperfect. And so I like it because of that reason. So I hope you found that helpful. I would really like to see if you decide to have a go. Please, if you do, and either post it in our free Facebook group that you can join if you're a member, post it in the Discord. You can also, on an iPhone only, which is weird, we have opened up our YouTube community tab. So you can actually also post on the community tab, go have a look at what other people are doing there as well. Or if you post anywhere else, just tag me. Tag me on Instagram or anything like that. I'd love to see them. I think I'm really happy with how this has come out. I think I need to clean my desk, and I think I need to stop and have some lunch. But I have loved chatting with you all. And for members, I will see you again soon. And do not forget to check out the launch video coming up later this week to see all of the new cubes in their full glory. I just realized that I've been giving away something this whole stream. Whoops. No, it's going to be great. And on that, enjoy the rest of your day or night.